Hey, what's up, everyone? Hopefully you have survived through that space.com video over the super flower blood moon here. But I know a lot of people are sounding off, and I just wanted to possibly add a few things that I found that were interesting. I know we were talking about this not too long ago, but let's see. Just some things I wanted to point out, because it talks about through May through the 16th, right? And that was really important to know the time frames. But I checked the almanac, right, for Israel and Jerusalem in order to see the possible, to get it more accurate based off the moons, right, time frame of IR. So we actually have something interesting here that I want to kind of point out. Right here, if you look, we have April 1st, and I know that was a while ago, but April 1st, we have that first new moon, right, in April. But this is interesting because the new moon that's kicked off IR started April 30th, which, if you see, it says black moon, because it's a second new moon in a month. And I thought that was interesting that they have a nickname for it, to be the black moon, right? But then we have this eclipse coming from the 15th to the 16th to the full moon, right? The super flower blood moon, which I also find to be very interesting. But to look at the day, so we know that April 30th, and there's only 30 days in April, and Nisan ended on April 30th, right? It was the last day because the first sliver of the new moon starts off the calendars. So when you look at Sunday here, right, it's almost aligning perfectly with IR because that's our first sliver. So we have day for day, but remember, on the Jewish calendar, the evening and the morning is a day. So the evening of the first through the morning of the second is the first day. So it kind of like straddles between days. Needless to say, that kind of brings me to the 14th, because we have this second Passover, right? And something that everyone's kind of looking at. Now, I've heard some people, I think GevTV was talking about how there was some star alignments with Aries constellation, that this was true Passover. But either way you look at it, this is a very interesting high watch time frame, because either it's going, which I haven't really looked into it myself, so I'm not really sure about that, but I'm more tracking in the sense that this is the Pesach Shani. I know I probably butchered that, but the second Passover, which you can see, I'm on Chabad.com. It talks about how it was the Passover for the unclean, right? And then it says, I believe this is from Numbers 9 down here, 6 through 7. Right here, it says, there were, however, certain persons who had become ritually impure through contact with the dead body, and could not, therefore, prepare the Passover offering on that day. Right? So we basically have this picture of the second Passover for the unclean, which is the 14th of IR. Do you see that down here? 14th of IR, which is interesting, and you'll see why. So if this is the case, we have the 14th of IR, which would be the evening today, because the evening and the morning is a day, right? And I could be off, but look into it, like I said, because we have the moons to be able to track and be able to see these things. But, okay, so we have in the Passover, there's 3 days, right? So you have the 3 days and then the resurrection. So that would take us to the 17th, right? And look what happens to land on the 17th. Genesis 7:11, which we know 7:11 is division. We've talked about this before, but I definitely want to keep reiterating it just in case someone has not heard of this or seen it. But in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, right? This would be the month of IR. The 17th day of the month, all the fountains of the great deep broken open. All right, this reminds me of when the graves busted open during the after Jesus resurrected, right? And they walked through the holy city, and we're seeing of many, which is very interesting because we have this picture, because the waters being people, right? So we have the great deep broken open, right? And the windows of heaven were open. So we have that picture because this is when judgment officially got crazy for them, right? So we have the rains coming down, and we have a picture of us going up through the windows of heaven. This is a date that has, if you go all the way back quite a few months, you'll see a video called Clearing the Israel, a case for Israel, 1948 Israel, clearing the times, clearing the line. And we talked about this particular date. All the way back then, I was hoping we wouldn't have to wait all the way up to this point, but hey, we're here. It's coming up in just a few days. It's an extreme watch time, and I think that it behoove us all to continue to watch. And I just wanted to come out with this to kind of throw these things in there because, again, I watched all the Watchmen too, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone was tracking what was going on, especially with Genesis 7:11 and the divisions, right? So potentially amazing, right? We could be out of here within days, potentially, maybe, and I think that would be so amazing. But God bless you all. Have a great rest of your weekend and evening.
1 Corinthians 15. Moreover, brethren, I declare unto you the gospel which I preached unto you, which also ye have received, and wherein ye stand, by which also ye are saved, if ye keep in memory what I preached unto you, unless ye have believed in vain. For I delivered unto you first of all that which I also received, how that Christ died for our sins, according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried, and that he rose again the third day, according to the Scriptures,